Ladies and gentlemen, and ladies, welcome to another edition of Oilers Fan Reaction. Never in doubt. Oh, it's always so sweet to say that. Always so sweet to say it. Always so sweet to say. Even better when it's Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals and we sit ourselves a win. We're gonna play some La Bamba, baby, because I forgot to do that after the live. A lot of stuff was going on in my mind. A lot of FUs I wanted to spit out to people that doubted the Oilers. I'm going to show you some things in this video. I'm going to show you some video. I'm going to show you some analytic content. I'm going to show you some video of what I saw. I'm going to show you some insights from what I was told. And I was not allowed to say it during the live stream, so I apologize, people. It was in my notes. Remember remember how I write notes? I wrote it on a red piece of paper, not my whiteboard, because my whiteboard is being used for something else right now. So everything is written down on this piece of paper. Everything. Anyways, let's get into it. Let's get into it. It's going to be good. Now let's talk about the bad and the ugly of this game. And let's talk about the real reason, the elephant in the room as to why Florida is even in this series. It is reffing. It has nothing to do with what Oiler goalie does what, and we'll get into that later on. Stu Skinner, keep your head up, kid. If it wasn't for you, this game would have been 8, 9, 10, nothing for the Florida Panthers. Don't believe me? Listen to the guy I have coming up after the first period. Now, we're going to get into this. Kane, high stick. Fucking can't do that. I get you're frustrated. There was a missed call earlier. It's 10:38 into the first period. You high sticked. Quit fucking doing it. Keep your stick on the ice and you won't get that call. It's plain and fucking simple, my friend. Just stop it. Anywho's, well, the Oilers are on a penalty kill. Nurse, this is what grinds my gears a little bit on this play. Nurse trips Barkov with his leg. He goes to hit, Barkov does a spin, and he clips him. Penalty? Yes. Fair. Oiler fans? Fair. But later on in the game, the same thing happens to, I think it was Podkolzin or Skinner, Jeff Skinner. And there's no call on the play. Exact same area, I think it was the second period, exact same area, exact same type of play. Player goes to hit, misses for the most part, leg trips back of the leg, player falls over. No call on that. Theme of these playoffs, theme of this whole freaking game, one goes one way, the other goes the other. Now, of course, it's a 5-on-3 for the Florida Panthers, and they score. At 11:40, Tkachuk scores, makes it 1-0 FL fucking A. With the help of a lot of face-off interference by Barkov, and I don't know how he's a Selke winner. Like, I get it. He's the best defensive forward in the league. He gets away with a lot of shit. If you guys don't believe me, watch a lot of the highlights. Watch a lot of Florida Panther games. Like, I've had to. He gets away with a lot of hooks. He gets away with a lot of interferences. He gets away with a lot of slashes. Why? Because he's Andrei Barkov. He gets the benefit of the doubt. Now, shortly after that, at 15:18, Florida gets their third power play of the period. Third power play of the game. Third power play of the period. We are 15 minutes into the game, and the Oilers have had 2, 4, 6 minutes of penalties. I don't want to hear it anymore, Florida fans. I don't want to hear it. Yes, it was a high stick. Absolutely was a high stick. What did we say about Kane? Keep your fucking stick down and you won't get the call. It truly is that simple. Keep your stick down and you will not get the call. I'm sorry. It's that simple. Sticks down, arm doesn't go up. Anywho's, of course, good passing by Florida Panthers. Matthew Tkachuk scores his second of the goal, his 7th of the season. It's a power play goal. Oilers need to be better on the power play. Point blank, if o facto, no more excuses. Florida Oilers need to be better on the power play. Now, Lundell scores to make it 3-0 for Florida. This at 19:18 of the first period. Notice how I haven't said any Oiler power play yet? There was lots to call. Oh boy, howdy, there was lots to call. But you don't call penalties against the Oilers when the game is close. Notice that trend? They don't call penalties for the Oilers when the game is close. It's 3-0 for Florida. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you why I'm a little upset. Video number 1. Here it is.
Hagee, but right there on the visor of Troy Stetcher, and then Lundell, calls against. Watch this again, though. A good play initially by Verhaeghe, but
one high stick.
It's the second one right there on the visor of Troy Stetcher. Verhaeghe, but it's the second one right there on the visor.
Two high sticks. Same play. The ref was in the corner looking at the play. And if you go watch the live, go watch the replay. Go watch the full game replay. I wish I could show you. The ref has his arm up. The ref has his arm up. Florida touches the puck. Florida scores the goal, and the ref puts his arm down. So was the penalty for the Oilers that we didn't see? It happened in the back of the play? Or was the penalty going against Florida and he knew if he called that, he'd have to explain why it was no goal? Was the penalty for Florida and he knew if he called that, he had to explain to everybody in the building and everybody watching on TNT and Sportsnet why that was no goal and the Oilers were getting a power play? Two high sticks on one play. Of course, it was Verhaeghe that got away with it. We'll speak more on Verhaeghe later on. So, it's 3-0 Florida going into the first intermission. And I got word. I got some inside information. I was told by a little birdie, Stuart Skinner's night is done. I'm like, oh, that's... Sorry, my computer's screaming at me a little bit. I said to my friend, that's unfortunate. That sucks. Because that's not on Stuart Skinner. That first period was not on Stuart Skinner. So, I'm also told by my buddy, there was screaming and shouting in the locker room. There was screaming and shouting in the Oilers locker room. I heard this. I asked a question. I says in a text, good screaming, bad screaming, or is this team done? Sorry. Again, good screaming, bad screaming, and who did it. He said it was good, and the person that did it was Corey Perry. Corey Perry pretty much told the boys, unfucking acceptable. Cannot happen. No way that this is acceptable. This is game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final. We were here last year, and we imploded. We are not going back to Edmonton down 3-1. And as you know the rest of the story, they didn't. But here's another little video that I'm going to show you. From not me, not my eyes and my mouth saying what I just said, but somebody I do not fully like or even fully respect. But sometimes he has a gem or two that I like to listen to. Listen to what he says. Open your ears.
Victory in game 4 without both goaltenders, do they?
There is no question. Jay, in the first period, the high danger chances for the Florida Panthers, 13. Edmonton Oilers 1. It would have been 6 or 7 nothing after the first period if it wasn't for Stuart Skinner. Listen, Public have to go into his toolbox to make a change and say, hey, listen, you guys better be a lot better because this is not on our goaltenders. And Stuart Skinner started the second period on the bench, 3-1. Bigger by Pickard. Again, Pickard.
Like I said, not my words. I'm not the only one telling you guys that Stuart Skinner was the main reason this game wasn't blown out city. I will tell you this. Moving on, second period. Let's talk about second period again, shall we? Burnett takes a penalty for slashing. Remember how I told you Oilers aren't going to get a power play until the game's out of hand and the refs know they can call a penalty and it won't overly affect? One goal isn't going to change anything. So in saying that, if one goal isn't going to change anything, so obviously the power play given to the Oilers early in the second period wasn't really going to change the outcome, right? It wasn't going to hamper or help, deter, not deter. Unfortunately for the Florida Panthers, Hopkins scores his 6th of the season. It's a PPG goal at 3:33. Remember, the power play was taken at 3:14. 3:33, Draisaitl McDavid, 3-1 Florida. Now, this is where it gets fun. This is where it gets exciting. This is where I start living in the moment. Remember how I said it's 3-1? And now the refs are start giving penalties to Florida because they don't think the Oilers can come back. 3-1. Power play Edmonton again. Florida's second penalty. Kulikov holding the stick. Why wasn't that called earlier in the game? Earlier in the series. Anywho's, so at 6:24, of course, the Oilers power play, skadoosh, does not a thing on it. And then, oh boys, and then Darnell Nurse does what Darnell Nurse does. He shoots, he scores. His third of the playoffs at 12:47 of the second period. Ekholm and Henrique get the assist, scores 3-2. Now the pucker holes in Florida are starting to feel the burn. Starting to feel like, oh shit, we're going to let this one slip away. Never fear, never fear. Barkov puts the puck over the glass. And it's blatant as day. But there's good old Paul Maurice on the camera. I'm not bound. I don't know what we're calling. When do you see them? Yeah, Paul Maurice, Coach of the Year, Paul Maurice. Any whoosies. That happens at 12:57, 10 seconds after the Oilers make it 3-2. You knew that the next power play wasn't going to be a stick infraction, wasn't going to be a hit, wasn't going to be a hold, wasn't going to be anything that's an actual fucking penalty. No, it's an over the glass that the refs had no choice but to call. And of course, we do nothing with it. Nothing at all. A whole lot of skittish. Now, still 3-2. Oilers get their third power play. One of them is for an infraction that you have to call. Now, this is where I want to ask the question to the people. There's a guy that has his back turned. Whether he puts his back there, whether he, whether he puts himself in that position, whether he puts himself into that situation or not. Sorry, my bad. Stop, hold up, wait a minute. Podkolzin scores at 15:05 after the Barkov penalty. Podkolzin scores at 15:05 from Nurse and Draisaitl. Now I want to show you a video right quick here. And I want you to pay attention on who's in this video and why I say this goal happens because of leadership. The leadership on this team is second to none. This leadership is... I'm going to be a little biased to say this. I think the leadership on this team is the best leadership in the NHL. And you're going to see in this video why I claim it and why I'm not going to back down from saying this. Here's a video. There's no sound to it. It's Oilers practice in the morning. Pay attention. Are you paying attention to who's working on what? So in case you guys don't know, that's Podkolzin and that's Draisaitl. What Podkolzin is asking him is, how do you receive a pass or a bounce off the stick with your backhand so well? Well, he says, here, let's switch, I'll show you. And that's Draisaitl doing it first. Smooth backhand to forehand. So silky smooth. Okay? And then he's showing him. And now this is Podkolzin trying to do it. Not so silky, not so smooth. And then here it is. Now he's figured it out. Now the young Padawan has figured it out. Now the young Padawan has realized, yes, that's how it's done. He scores a backhand and a beauty to make the game tree. Little over halfway through the second period. Then we get the ridiculousness like I was alluding to. I don't care if the guy puts himself in the situation to get hit from behind or he's there to play the puck. His back is turned. That is a 2, possibly a 5, and a game. The fact that you hit him so hard that his head smashed off the boards, and I don't want to hear anything from anyone. Oh, well, he did it himself. He jumped in the boards. No, Verhaeghe left his feet and targeted his fucking head. And again, no penalty on the play. Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. But yet, Bouchard had to go down the tunnel for concussion protocol. Good thing the concussion protocol lasted the entirety of the second intermission. He was back and able to continue in the third period. where, again, Bennett trips Draisaitl. And I don't want to fucking hear it. That was a trip, and the refs didn't want to call it. The ref, looking at the fucking play, didn't want to call it. It was the back official that was like, oh, shit. That's pretty fucking blatant. Puck is nowhere near the play. Draisaitl's trying to skate up into the play to get into a scoring position, and he gets tripped. Oops. Bennett goes to the box. Thankfully for the Florida Panthers, the Oilers' power play is atrocious. Skrushi again, nothing on it. Oilers went 1 for 4 on the power play. Now, of course, I missed the part with 40 seconds left to go in the second period. Draisaitl elbows somebody. So after he sees his teammate get completely fucking tattooed from behind, you could have called it a board. You could have called it a hit from behind. Draisaitl's angry. He's separating player from puck. He gives the player a little old chicken wing. It's an elbow. It's a 2-minute penalty for elbowing. Draisaitl, just like Kane, just like Ekholm, be better. Be better. Anywho's, Florida goes on their 4th power play. They get a whole lot of skadoosh from it. At 7:34 of the 3rd period, Oilers get a power play. They do skadoosh on it. Wallman, holy fuck, I didn't know you had it in you. Slap shot city. He shoots. He scars. Assisted by Kapanen and Hopkins. 4-3 Edmonton at 13:36. 2 minutes left to go in the game. Florida pulls their goalie. 2 minutes. 2 minutes away from tying this series up at 2. Not having to go into overtime. Not needing to put extra minutes on your top guys. Not needing to put extra minutes on Pickard, who came in relief and looked amazing. Now, with 21 seconds left, all the Oilers had to do was either A, dump the puck out of the net, out of the arena, and get it down the ice, get an icing, what the fuck ever, don't care, regroup, or B, put it against the boards, lay on it, put your feet in a triangle, have your feet in a triangle, boards are at the bottom, puck is in between your feet. If they trip you, they're going to get a penalty. Good luck digging it out. No, not the Oilers. That's not the Oilers' way. They turn the puck over. It goes to Tkachuk. Tkachuk loses the puck. Hey, we're thinking, hey, he lost the puck. Perfect. No. He loses the puck, and it perfectly goes on Reinhardt's stick. Reinhardt gets his 6th goal of this playoffs. We have a 4-4 hockey game, and we are going to overtime. Now, this is where the Oilers could have been like, hey, we got to overtime, folks. We erased a 3-goal deficit. We got to overtime. We're good. No, they got to overtime. Pickard, huge at start to overtime. 2, 3, 10 bell saves. And a goalpost, but he made the save with his glove. Tipped off his glove, he clipped off the goalpost. And then Draisaitl puts it in off of the Florida Panther defenseman's leg through Bobrovsky's legs. Oilers win 5-4 in overtime, assisted by Podkolzin and Ekholm. Now let me say this and let me preface this with a little bit of prettiness. Ekholm one-touched it to Podkolzin. Podkolzin one-touches it to Draisaitl. Look at the replay. The puck was not dusted. It was bang, bang. Draisaitl backhand looking for Corey Perry in front of the net. Lucky things happen when you force the play. You generate your own luck. You create your own luck. Special players make special teams at special times. Sorry. Special players make special plays at special times. Draisaitl is a special player who does make special plays at the special times. If you don't believe me, here's a picture to back it up. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Leon Draisaitl, most overtime goals in a single playoffs. Round 1, Game 4 versus LA. Round 2, Game 2 versus the Vegas Golden Knights. Round 4, Stanley Cup Final, Game 1, OT winner against Florida. Game 4, Round 4 versus Florida. You want to hear a really interesting stat about Leon Draisaitl before this year? And I don't know how many of you guys knew about this before I just told you, but here's an interesting stat. Leon Draisaitl had never, ever scored an overtime goal in the playoffs until this season. Until this playoff run, Leon Draisaitl had never scored an overtime goal. Now he leads the playoffs with 4 most all time. Not tied for third, not tied for second with 3 with Matthew Tkachuk and somebody else. No, he is record holder. He's also another record holder. I bet you didn't know this one. I bet you dollars to donuts you did not know this. Leon Draisaitl is the first European-born player. Not first European born to have 3 30-plus postseason points. Not consecutively, mind you, but this is his 3rd time that he's had 30-plus postseason points. First ever European-born player to do it. History is what we are watching, folks. We are watching history in the making with Leon Draisaitl. Put some mother respect on his name. Series is tied 2-2. We take them back to Berta. Win Game 5. It's over in 6. Speaking of Game 5, you have to start Calvin Picard. I'm a huge Stuart Skinner guy. You know I will defend Stuart Skinner to my dying breath. But you have to start Stuart. You have to start. Have to start Calvin Picard. Game 5 in Edmonton. And if the players come out flat for the first period, the first 20 minutes, then you know without a shadow of a doubt, unequivocally, it is not the goalies that are the issue in Edmonton. It is first period late starts. If the Oilers come out flat in period 1, again in Game 5, it don't matter who you have in net. They can only stop so much. I'll give you a stat, and I'll give you a stat right quick. 13 grade A chances for the Florida Panthers in the first period. 1 for the Edmonton Oilers. That score could have easily been 9-0, 7-0, 6-0. Stuart Skinner kept the team in it. Calvin Picard helped the team out. You can't have Picard come in and save the day without Skinner doing what he did in the first. My message to the Oilers is start on time. Puck drop is 6:20. Get your boots on at 6:22. Be fucking ready. Anyways, I've taken up way too much of your time. My name is Matt for OilersFanReaction. I will leave you with this ditty of a video. Hopefully you guys enjoy. I'll be back tomorrow at 6 o'clock. It is Friday. Happy Friday 13th, by the way, if you celebrate it, guys. Oh, I lied. We have one more picture to show you. Come back, kids. The Edmonton Oilers have 3-goal comeback wins and are the first team since 2006 to do it. Carolina did it against the Oilers in Game 1. Note the biggest difference between the Carolina team in 06, the Penguin team in 92, the Flyer team in 87, the Canadian team in 44, the Maple Queef team in 39, the Montreal Canadiens in 1919 were the first road team to do it. Anybody know who they did against? I bet you don't. It's a team that's in the NHL right now. So pause this video right now, and I'm going to come back after the video is out and done, and I'll tell you the team. It is a team that's in the NHL right now, so it's not a defunct team. 1919, the Montreal Canadiens beat this team on the road in the final to come back from a 3-goal deficit and win the game. Enjoy this video. I'll be back with the answer. You'll be surprised.
Oh, that's terrible.
You seem kind of psyched.
No, I'm bummed. But I wasn't bummed. I was stoked.
You think I owe you an apology? Want me to take back some of those mean and hurtful little things I said? Okay. I'm sorry you're just a little turd that can't hold your liquid out in public. Now you get on out my face while I pick you up and toss you out that window.
Oh, that's terrible.
You seem kind of psyched.
No, I'm bummed. But I wasn't bummed. I was stoked.
You think I owe you an apology? Want me to take back some of those mean and hurtful little things I said? Okay. I'm sorry you're just a little turd that can't hold your liquid out in public. Now you get on out my face while I pick you up and toss you out that window.
Ladies and gentlemen, the answer to the question is the Seattle team from Seattle. I don't remember what their Seattle blanks were, but I remember it was a team from Seattle. I was obviously not there, but reading about it, yeah, I read. I know. Shocker. Anywho's, my name is Matt for OilersFanReaction. Thank you for being here. Thank you for staying along with the video. Sorry it's so long, but I had to break down a few things. I had to get a few things off my chest. We'll see you guys on Saturday, 6 p.m. Hockey Night in Canada. Game 5 in Edmonton. Doses.